How y'all doing? I'm a little bit early. Can we please call these not your normal lives? I have a not your normal life. Oh shoot. I meant to do something. You know what? For this one, it doesn't matter. It's fine. We can just talk. I was gonna hook up my speaker, but it's fine. What's up, Joko? How you doing? Well, today, I know there's only two of you there right now, but submit any questions that you want for Not Your Normal Ask Me Anything. What's up, Theme Park Edits? Also, I wanted to go to B-Dubs this afternoon, but I didn't go to B-Dubs. Instead, I made my own B-Dubs, kind of, ish. Has B-Dubs sauce on it. Because I didn't want to be sitting there with all the copyrighted music and all the sound at B-Dubs, but I wanted to have that today, so I made this. And then also, I have not been feeling well. Like today, I did not feel well at all. I had the worst headache I've ever had. So, and I never get headaches either. So, yeah, so it's not been the best day. Plus, then I also needed to take a friend to a rental car place to pick him up. I actually didn't take him there. I took him from there to his house. So we got a late start on things today. What's up, wee wee? Someone just showed up at the door. What's up, Sarah? Yeah, almost to 10,000. That's right. I love BWs. Saved a bunch of money by not going and getting food poisoning. I've never gotten food poisoning there. It is like my favorite restaurant. I don't know what that says about my taste, but I only ever get Parmesan garlic. It's my favorite one. I will say I've seen it go downhill recently. All right, so we are going to do an AMA today. I want you guys just to ask me whatever questions you have wanted to know. So hang out. Like I said, whatever you want to ask. If there's a question that's really been burning on your mind, then ask it. I will try to answer all of them. And unless there's something I just can't. But what instruments can you play? Not that many, to be honest. I can play the piano, and I can and I can sing. I can play the xylophone too. That's basically the same thing. I mean, you could get technical, but any keyboard instrument I can play pretty much. But I am trying to learn some other ones too. So that's going to be a thing. But I wouldn't say I know how to play them at all. Would you do the BW3 Blazing Challenge for a prestige pass? No, I would not. I hate actual spicy food. Parmesan garlic makes my whole face break out in a sweat. It's awful. It's the worst thing ever. Do you smoke the devil's lettuce off camera? I'm going to be entirely honest and say no, I do not. I have never been to any kind of, I've never smoked anything at all. I do have some friends who do, and that's fine with me. But I do not. So now I was told when I was in eighth grade, I think, my grandma died of lung cancer. She smoked cigarettes all her life. And couldn't have been eighth grade. That couldn't have been it. Sophomore year. I think it was my sophomore year of high school. But during that time, she got lung cancer and then it metastasized to her brain. But she had smoked all her life and she got rid of all of the ashtrays in the house. And she told me, there's not an ashtray in the house, and if I ever see you get into one, I'll beat your butt. And I still firmly believe at 36 years old that she will come back from the grave and beat my butt today. So I will never smoke anything. Nothing that's on fire will ever enter my mouth. Let's see what else people have said. If you can visit any theme park ever, which would it be? Honestly, at this point, okay, I'm going to answer that two different ways because I'm going to say ever, any theme park ever. Sorry. Any theme park ever is going to make me think it already exists. So, but then also I'm going to think about anything that is coming. So the one that's burning on my brain that I really want to see because I've seen so much about it now is Epic Universe by Universal Studios. I'm really excited to go to that one. And if there was another one that I could go visit, if funds had no bearing on it whatsoever, I would go to Tokyo Disney Sea. Absolutely. Like that would be my dream place. It has the best theming that I've ever seen of any theme park anywhere. And I just want to take it all in for myself. I want to see how amazing it is. And everything I've ever seen online just makes it look like the best thing ever. I've even gone through like Google Maps and like walked around it virtually. Like it looks amazing. I would love to go visit that. Well, first of all, I see one back here. Fractions. I'm so sorry. I made that live this morning. Got on this afternoon and went, it's not here. What in the world happened to it? Why is there no live here today? And then I tried to get onto it and I couldn't. So I have no idea what happened to it. It's like it escaped into the abyss. So yeah, I know I made alive for 7 o'clock. I don't know where it went or why it wasn't there, but I would have just amended that to 7:30 had I seen that, but I couldn't get onto it. So I'm so sorry, Fractions. I didn't know that you were over there. I hope nobody else is over there now. All right. I have to do these in order. Are you back home in Fort Wayne tonight? I am back home in Fort Wayne tonight. And I also saw Jeremiah asked, what's for dinner? Once again, it is Buffalo Wild Wings chicken, but really it's just chicken nuggets that I put Buffalo Wild Wings sauce on. Is Top Thrill 2 going to be your first ride of the 2024 season? I'll probably be there for the pass holder preview. So I'm going to say tentatively yes. I don't know if on that day, if anything else is going to be open or if it's just Top Thrill 2. Regardless, I don't really care. I'll be there anyway. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to try to be riding it as quickly as I possibly can. Barring that there are other lines. If there are other lines, then maybe I'll worry less about doing that first, and I'll do something later on about that, being able to ride Top Thrill 2. That may be an option, but we'll see. Since Blue Streak is getting up in age, would GCI retract or something like that be worth it? I don't know. I think it's worth it to keep the property at the park if it would come to that. I think they routinely maintain it and, you know, get it back up where it needs to be. I love that though. I love Blue Streak as it is. I'd rather not see GCI do it, although it'd be a lot smoother, I have to admit, than what it is right now. Sorry, guys. I see that I'm making you hungry. Scott, that's awesome. Thanks for the great story. No problem. Are you going to try to go to the ACE event at Kings Island? I am. No, sorry. I don't know what I was thinking there. I'm not planning to, no, because I've never been an ACE member. I don't hate the idea of becoming an ACE member, and I do think there's also, I just went to grab my glasses. I think there's also some sort of an event that's happening at, what's up, Mel? That's happening at Indiana Beach too this year that I wouldn't mind being able to go see, but I'm not sure if that's going to happen or not. Yeah, so I guess we'll have to see. Sorry, I'm eating very slowly and methodically. I'm sure you guys are loving listening to my... I should have titled this B-Dubs Mukbang. That's what I should have done. Scott, I missed this. So I rode Iron Gwazi a few times, and I can say without a doubt, Vengeance is better in every way. Floridians don't know big coasters. I would say it's definitely better. I'm not sure if I'd say it's better in every way. I did get to go last year and ride it, and I really enjoyed the experience. What I'll say about it is it feels freer. When you're riding Steel Vengeance, feels more like you're surrounded by things around you all the time. Like if you jumped off or something, you would hit into something if you did that. Where if you jumped out into see, jumped out feels like a bad way to say it. But if you were on Iron Gwazi and somehow you like got free, it feels like you could like float away. Like you kind of feel more like you're a bird. In that, with Steel Vengeance, it feels more severe. It feels more like a bucking bronco kind of an experience to me. I would say that. I actually feel like Cedar Point has a lot of bucking bronco type rides. Slash bird rides where it's like soaring, big like Gatekeeper, Valraven. But yeah, I feel like Iron Gwazi has a very different kind of a feeling to it, and I do feel like it does that better. But yeah, I'm not sure. Watching you eat is making me hungry. Seriously getting hungry too. Sharon, do you have Fastlane Plus? I do not. I don't know that I'll ever get Fastlane Plus, especially like all year Fastlane Plus, which is what I'm assuming you're talking about. Um, I will this year do a Fastlane Plus video, or at least that's the plan. I would love to be able to do a Fastlane video. Those boneless wings look good. And I would also like to do an individual Fastlane video too. So you can buy individual Fastlane experience tickets now, or at least you could last year. I'm assuming you can again this year. And I think low key, that's maybe part of the reason why you can only buy one, or you can only use one time for Top Thrill 2, because I want to sell those Fastlane individual tickets for people to do more of that. So they want people to buy Fastlane and then Fastlane Plus, and then also to buy a couple of tickets to get onto it faster. Kind of worries me. I'm not sure what the lines are going to look like, but we'll see what happens. But I would like to exploit that more this year. Last year I told some friends who were going, instead of buying Fastlane Plus, just do the individual experience tickets, because you'll save a lot of money, and then you can still hit the like 3 main rides that you want to ride. So I think that may be worthwhile to check that out too. Well, if you're at the park when I will give you my one-time use Fastlane. Thanks, Sharon. I do have the Prestige Pass for this year. I'll never buy Fastlane for all year long. Yeah, I mean that's the problem. Wee is they don't have a cap. I don't think anyway on Fastlane. The cap is the price. So the cap is the free market, and whether or not you want to spend the 250 or whatever amount of money it costs to buy Fastlane for that time. That's the real issue. It just kind of depends on how much money people want to spend. So yes, theoretically, there could be enough people in the park who have bought Fastlane Plus that buying Fastlane Plus would do no good for you, because there'd be too many people buying it. And I think I've maybe even seen that happen, because there's no specific time when you're allowed to go to the park or when you're allowed to go to a certain ride or anything like that either. Think CP will have enough workers by May 18th, staying at Breakers for 3 days. So excited. Um, yeah, I mean, I definitely think that Cedar Point will have enough workers, whether or not it's like a great experience with the amount of workers that they have, I guess is a little bit more um, up to interpretation, really based on who you talk to. I mean, they're definitely hiring a lot of people, but they're also hiring at less money than they've hired it in previous years. So, and a lot of people have experienced pay cuts. So that kind of worries me altogether. But Austin, that's awesome. You won your basketball championship game. Wondering if I'm missing anything. Okay, Trevor, all your Fastlane sounds expensive. Yes, it is expensive. It's like $999. But no, I wouldn't do this. But if you're coming and you're going to buy Fastlane every single time you come, one way or another, then that's a massive savings. So if you're coming 4 or 5 times in the year and you're going to end up paying $200, maybe even $250 per time that you are at the park, then $999 is quite a savings. And then, of course, Cedar Point gets that up front, so they have some extra money to play around with. Well, it's maybe a thing. Like it is a thing that I think is going to be a problem. I think the amount of people who are working is going to be a low amount of people this year, and I think Cedar Point brought it on themselves by lowering the cost, and they should be encouraging people to come work for them. They shouldn't be lowering the amount of, I mean, they're already short staffed. Why in the world they would lower the amount that they're paying their people is beyond me altogether. I had some at Zaxby's tonight. Hatless Spider Zaxby's is really delicious. I went there with a work event recently, and it was so much fun. And it was delicious. I was surprised at how good it was. Wasn't at all what I expected. Sorry, guys, I'm finishing up my meal now. I might actually take you guys downstairs for me to grab some water in a little bit here. All right. Okay. The best drink at CP. Well, I'm assuming you're talking adult beverages. Um, I hope this isn't gross. I'm licking my fingers. To be completely honest, I'm not sure that I care. But Natmaster, thank you. Um, it is, I think, my favorite drink. Oh my word! I'm trying to think all of them. Uh, I've always, from the very beginning, I've liked the tequila sunrise. So that's a really good one. I really love the new old fashioned that they have in the pavilion. That one's really good too. As a matter of fact, I feel like the pavilion has some of the best drinks I could find. I don't like the gunslinger. It is too something. I don't know if it's too sweet. I don't know what it is. The gunslinger really kills me. It's not good to me, obviously. Always love a Jack and Coke, no matter what. They have several good ones there. Also, the drinks inside of, yeah, Jack and Coke from Surf Lounge. Yep. Also, the drinks inside of, um, what's it called? Not Ched's. The grilled cheese place. Is it Ched's? I forget what it's called. That place is really good too. Sup, Pops, what you eating? I am eating the remains, anyway, of my Buffalo Wild Wings. Except not Buffalo Wild Wings, because it's just the melt. There we go. Really, it's called melt. Yes. I am eating the remains of my B-dubs, but I had just I just heated up some chicken nuggets and put B-dub sauce on it. That's all it is. Also some blue cheese dressing. Okay, so let's talk about this real fast. Blue cheese dressing. It's delicious or it's terrible. Sound off in the comments. I want to hear from you guys. Because the majority of my family, my daughter, my ex-wife, they're all like, blue cheese, that's the grossest thing ever. I love it. Yeah, Scott O'Brien, I miss Betty so much. I love all blue cheeses now, but Drew said he didn't like it. He said it's terrible. Blue cheese is nasty. Terrible ranch only. Ew, blue cheese, gross. Drew is weird. I like yellow cheese. Man, y'all are missing out. Enjoy some blue cheese. Live a little. That sounds like a good t-shirt. Live a little. Eat some blue cheese. All right. I got a little bit of this on the floor, so I'm going to clean it up. All right. I used to call blue cheese septic tank scrappings. When I was in college, we went to a fancy restaurant, and I was in college. I didn't know anything, and even though I thought I did, I went to, well, it was this like singing group that we were in. We all went to a different restaurant and hung out, and while we were there, we were like, hey, look, they have blue cheese on the table. We should try some blue cheese. And I was too chicken to even try it. And then they all tried it, and they were like, ew, it tastes like a 100-year-old house. And I tried it a couple years later. After I had ranch dressing, then I tried blue cheese, and I was like, why did I think I hated this for so long? It was delicious. It was life-changing. I put it on everything. I eat blue cheese on my pizza. All right. Well, guys, there are lots and lots of comments now. So if you want me to be sure that I get to your comment, then press that, the supers. Give me a super. Then I'll see it come up right away if you do that. But I am going to try to go through all of them. But the more they get, the more overwhelming it gets to me, because I'm like, okay, there's a lot of them here. And I don't always see them. Sometimes I pass by one. So love the shave. I just shaved mine too. Thanks. I'm assuming you're talking about the beard, even though it's not really shaved, but I got what you're saying. Long Islands. There are some Long Islands at Cedar Point, and I will say they're more lethal to me. But I've never really done that. It's all booze. Well, that's why people like them, right? Hey, Trent, how about cheese on a stick with Jack and Coke? Jack and Coke sounds great. Cheese on a stick sounds good too sometimes, but I think that's now a running joke that that you have. Surf lounges are go-to as well. Betty makes them strong. I loved Betty so much, and I know they already said that she was gone. Yeah, she moved. Actually, she didn't even just move. She was, I believe, fired. And yeah, I'm absolutely devastated by that. I wanted her back so bad. Maybe she'll be back again this next year. I don't know if she was given another chance or anything like that. I have no idea. And I don't really know what happened either. But I think there was something to do with like a comment or something like that. And she was always very uncensored. That's part of what makes her fun. So I would rather have that. But wherever she is, I hope she's doing awesome and that she's amazing right now. So, because I always really loved Betty. She was literally like a draw. Like I would come to hang out with her. Um, New merch loading. Actually, for real, new merch loading. I haven't actually completed the designs yet, but there is more merch planned for the beginning of the season. So go check it out. I guess you're being warned at this point. Live dangerously, eat blue cheese. It's like Rougarou, an acquired taste. Actually, full stop. Mel, yes, Betty got fired for saying something on social media about her job, apparently. I like blue cheese and yellow cheese. Ew. I would rather have tartar sauce with my nuggets instead of blue cheese. Oh. Oh. No. That is seriously what it tastes like. A 100-year-old house. I've been loving ranch lately. I don't know why. I mean, that's where it started for me. It started with ranch. We went to B-Dubs and tried a little bit. And then I was like, wait a minute, that's not enough. So, Beach Cliff Studios. I'm starting a live stream now that won't be talking about cheese. Everyone is welcome to follow over. The first time I had, it was mixed in ranch, so it was easier to handle. For real, though, we are talking a lot about cheese, aren't we? So who else has another question for me in this AMA? Ask me anything. I'm going to take this plate downstairs while you guys ask questions, and we'll just keep talking. I just want some water. And then we'll come back up and do a little bit more. Anybody else have a question? Something they want me to weigh in on? Or that you want to ask each other? What do you teach? I teach music. Finally got my first classroom. LOL, that teacher mode. Raise your hands if you have any questions. Yeah, I finally got my first classroom. Because I've been working from a cart for the last 5 years. Really 4 and more than a half years. And so that's a game changer. Having my first classroom is crazy. Oh.
And my car keys.
Yes. It's so much more fun to teach. There's always something to do in the room. I had to bring everything into the room that I was going to do with the kids before. And so we would get done with one thing, and I'd be like, what else are we going to do now? So we'd end up watching a movie, or we'd end up doing some sort of a brain break or a special activity. And there just wasn't nearly as much to do at the time. Plus, the kids couldn't move around as much. So they were bored half to death. And now I have stuff for them to do. I have ways that I can check for their understanding. I do have a screen, but we haven't even touched the screen. Also, I have a headache. I'll be right back, guys. Is this the one I need? No, that is NyQuil. We don't want that. This sinus headache has been awful, or whatever it is, migraine, whatever it is, has been awful recently. All day today, it's been really bad. Sorry, guys. I'm a professional. All right. Let's see what all you guys are saying. All right. It's that teacher mode. Raise your hands if you have any questions for me. What is your favorite smaller non-Cedar Fair park? Oh, well, I am a creature of nostalgia in like so many ways, but because I'm a creature of nostalgia, my favorite thing is Indiana Beach. I love Indiana Beach. A couple of years ago, I got to go to Indiana Beach and spend like a 3-day weekend there. I used to be really we used to go there all the time when I was a kid. That was my family's place to go. My grandpa was a union man, and as a union man, he got like free. It was like a free day to go to Indiana Beach. And so we'd all go. We'd all hang out on General Mills. I think he worked for General Mills. And we would all spend time together all day long and do all that kind of stuff. It was so much fun. So yeah, it was really fun to do that. I love that. So yeah, that's a big one for me. It's such a nostalgic park too. It's very much a throwback. Like you feel like you're back in the 50s hanging out there, except for some of the rides are a little bit newer still, but there's just a lot of things. Like the train is very dangerous feeling, even like the stuff that wouldn't fly today that's been kind of grandfathered in, I guess. It's been so much fun just to be able to hang out there. And actually, a couple years ago, I started mentioning this. A couple years ago, I went there and spent the day, and that's where I saw Beachcliff talking about an evening activity that Cedar Point was doing. And that was my second year of doing this, I think. Maybe third. I don't remember. And then it was Forbidden Frontier, or not Forbidden Frontier. It was Frontier Nights. Wild Frontier Nights, that's it. And that was such a fun event. So I was glad that I saw Beachcliff cover it, because then I went to that and got to cover that event. And that event was really, really fun for me. All right, let's see here. I'm playing video games right now. What video game are you playing, Austin? What is the temperature today in Fort Wayne? It was decent. It was like 60 degrees. Oh, probably less than that. 45 degrees today. I know that's a big jump, but yeah, probably 45. It felt fine to be outside, but Droko, why are you wearing a shirt? I mean, I can change that for you. If you want me to. Are you like the teacher from School of Rock? I am not like the teacher of School of Rock. I don't think. I guess I'm cool. No, my kids think I'm so not cool. And I'm not. It's okay. One of my favorite things to do is to take the little words that they say and to like just use it in such an egregious and horrible way that they stop using it. A couple of years ago it was sheesh. And that's why like on my opening video, it's so outdated now because sheesh is like so 3 years ago. But my opening video for my videos is on that I say sheesh on there, and that was part of it. It was part of the fun of like being able to ruin it for my kids. And now it's bussin', so like I'll say something horribly cringy like like, oh yeah, you be bussin' to get over here or something like that. It just ruins it for the kids so bad. It's so much fun. I love that. uh LOL, throwing paper airplanes. Are you my problem child, Miss Mythic Hellbore? Where were you on March 13th, 2020, when most parks around the country announced they were closing, delaying opening for the 2020 season? 4-year anniversary coming soon. I was watching Molly on All Ears talk about Disney from her living room, kind of like I am right now. And then kind of ended up, I watched her launch her own brand, but I was watching her then go back into the parks once they opened in like April or something like that. And I saw her going to all the parks. And during that time, I started thinking, wow, I kind of want to do the same thing for Cedar Point. And for, at that point, my daughter and I had been going all the time to, to Indiana Beach, like I already talked about. And so, but also my daughter and I would go to, we had a season pass to Cedar Point also a couple of years before that. But in 2019, 2020, I was poor enough that I never ended up, well, I went at the end of the year because my best friend and I went every year to Cedar Point. So at the end of the year, I went in 2019 and I bought a season pass that year. But during that year, all year long, I bought a season pass for Indiana Beach. So I didn't have one yet that year for Cedar Point. And my daughter and I went. We also had like a really cheap meal plan. So we'd go down there and we'd eat together there, and she'd eat half my meal or less than that because she was like 3 or 4 years old. And we just hang out at Indiana Beach. But before that, she would take naps at Breakers and all that kind of stuff. But that year, I thought, well, I see Molly and what she's doing with talking about how these parks are reopening, and I wanted to do the exact same thing. So I went and did just a couple of videos. It was just a few because I wasn't planning on it being a major part of the channel. It was just something that ended up being part of the channel because those videos took off when I did that. And then after that, I guess that's where we are now. Too much cheese, Beach Cliff. uh, Trent and his drugs. Okay, addict. Yeah. What made you want to start your channel, and how did you decide on being a content creator? I wanted to start my channel because I'd always had kind of a thought of watching every Disney movie and ranking them. So I loved Disney. I've always loved Disney. It's kind of been my first love. Um, so loved going to the parks, loved watching the movies. And I remember watching a few with my now ex-wife, and I just was like, man, I wonder which one of those is the best one. Like if I could really look at it, like look at how the animation changes each time. What happens with the animation? I was just interested in that kind of stuff. I like the music in this movie better than the music in this movie and all of that. And so I started thinking, well, maybe I could rank them all together. So I came up with kind of a plan of what I wanted to rank them by and some criteria. I had storyline, music, animation, character, and technology to see them all. And I just thought it was really interesting. So I wanted to just keep going through that. And I started with one and then another and then another and just kind of created this little list of movies. And I made it through all the way until like 25, something like that. I made it up to The Rescuers Down Under, I think is the last one. I know I did Little Mermaid. I was very close to doing Beauty and the Beast, and I still have that script somewhere. But I've never made it because at that point, I just kind of stopped doing all of the Disney stuff and moved squarely into theme parks. Because I even put out a poll like, if you're here, are you here for Disney movies or are you here for theme parks? And resoundingly, it was like people were here for theme parks. So that's just what I moved into at that point. So yeah, Disney was first on my list. What really happened then was just nothing. I hadn't grown at all. Like 10 videos in, I'd finally reached 50 subscribers. And then by the time that I started going to Cedar Point and doing Indiana Beach content and all that kind of stuff, around the time of the pandemic, I'd reached like 350 subscribers, and I'd been at it for 2 years at that point. So I was just like, man, I'm never even going to reach that 1,000 mark threshold. I was growing so slowly. Like even right now, I feel like I'm growing slowly. The advertising has stopped, so I stopped advertising on the channel. And I think the reason why that advertising worked so well is because I've been at this for 6 years. I'm not going to be stopping. And I've just really enjoyed going to the parks. So I think people had kind of been around and seen my face already multiple times, and then the ads just kind of encouraged a lot of people to subscribe, not necessarily to watch, because it didn't change my watch counts very much, especially not like watch time hours. But it's been like, but I think it just encouraged people to do that because of that. So, or to subscribe because I'd been at it for a long time. So Trent, it's Bob. Hey Bob, what's up? I'm really late on this, guys, so sorry. If you want me to see it and react to it at that very moment, then you almost have to do a chat, a super chat, and I'll react to that immediately when I do that. But yeah, that is fine. Also, if people do not want to, that's not a problem. What was your original vision for YouTube channel? Yeah, so all Disney stuff. It was all Disney. Where that really changed then was the pandemic and having seen Molly, but really I just kind of, so Molly now is on Mammoth Club. She has her own channel. So if you guys haven't ever watched that, and especially if you like Disney or Universal content, then go check out Mammoth Club. I like to send people there because I do know that I got a decent amount of my inspiration from Molly, and I do think I owe that to her. But she's just seems like a really cool girl. Also one time I ran into her and I said hi, but I said it in the most awkward way. I like shoved my camera in her face without really meaning to shove it in her face, but I was like, oh my word, look, it's Molly. And I was filming, and I get in that mode of like, whatever I like, I'm going to take a video of. Well, she's a person. She's not a thing. She's not an environment. So it was a bad decision. I apologized to her at one point online, but I mean, I don't even know that she really noticed me, but yeah, it was one of those things where I was like, yeah, kind of embarrassing to me. So anyway though, sorry. I started then going to, I just started during the pandemic. I had all this extra time. I was working out. I was in the best shape of my life. And I was also going to like just throwing things at the wall with the YouTube channel. So I would just come upstairs and I'd edit for a long time, and then I'd throw it out on YouTube, and it was just like, what could I do? Like I sang with my daughter, I sang by myself, I sang for a couple of virtual concerts that we had around Fort Wayne. I did some movie reviews, of course, but those took forever to get done with almost no return. So I did that. I did a couple of other little like commentary videos. I went on walks and filmed those, like just whatever I could do. And then finally I went to Indiana Beach And it was like, this is what I love doing. I think this is really fun. And then I just shared it with people and kind of talked about, how are the parks actually opening, stuff like that. And I think that's pretty cool. So that ended up working out a lot better. Plus, they were way easier to edit. I didn't have to do thousands of like B-roll stuff and dig up all these clips from the movie and all that kind of stuff. So, and then after that, it's just kind of become more challenges and more all kinds of different things that we can do on the channel for fun. So, how's it going, Coaster Cat? Hey, it's good to see you. Thanks, Coaster Cat. Cheers to 6 years. How many days you gone to Cedar Point in a row without missing a day? At most, maybe, I doubt even 2 weeks. I bet it's only been 4 days at most that I've been at Cedar Point in a row. Usually it's I go to Cedar Point, I come back here, I end up sleeping, and then I go back the next day. This year I'll be doing some car camping, so hopefully that's going to happen more, where I'll actually spend more time in a row going to that. But yeah, I've not been going to a lot of stuff with them. But yeah, I've not actually been at Cedar Point many days in a row. Usually I go for 1 day, maybe 2 days. If I get a hotel, then I've been there for 2 days in a row. At most, maybe I've been there 3 days. I don't even think I have. I don't think I've done 3 days in a row. I think I've always done 2 days, and by the end of the second day, I come back. Now, usually that has to do with my daughter. I go pick up my daughter every couple days to be able to spend time with her, and I don't like to miss time with her if I cannot. So that's part of it. Snow White was the peak. Whirling Black Diamonds. I disagree. I really liked Snow White a lot, but I feel like I could name several others that I find to be a lot better. Disney was just catching its footing. Now it's classic, and I don't know that you can make it better because of that. But yeah, like it's the first one. That's really part of the fun. But do you enjoy watching the superhero Avengers movies? Yes, I do, and I have a whole bunch of those that I filmed also of me reacting. I did like car reactions where I would just sit in my car and over lunch hour I would talk about superheroes and the superhero movies I was watching, just the Avengers, because I was watching all of them at that point. Trevor, I hate you for that comment. We'll get to that in a little bit here. Is Cedar Point celebrating 30-year anniversary for Raptor? I don't know. I have a feeling every year they could celebrate an anniversary for one of their rides. So I doubt they celebrate their rides that often. And especially with this year with Top Thrill Dragster, I don't know. I haven't seen anything in a schedule. That doesn't mean they can't be having like a short amount of time when they celebrate it. I know, was it last year? It was like the 50th anniversary for Corkscrew. Is that right? I think that may be the case. But that obviously is a like they didn't even, or no, wait, maybe it was Gemini. My word, I don't remember. But whatever it was, somebody had a birthday. One of them had a birthday. They didn't do any kind of a festival or a celebration, but they did have a sign up for that celebration. Like, look, this ride is turning 50 this year, or 25, or whatever it was. So they do that every once in a while. Gemini was 45 last year. Okay. I only wanted to watch your videos. I don't know what that means. YBC Realtor, Yoko. Molly was kind of rude to me on a couple times. To be honest, I really think Molly probably does exactly what she has to do. Not, I mean, let's be honest. I have a tiny bit of a crush on her. And I'm gonna stand for her all I can. But she's married. I don't even have a chance next to Alan. But she is big enough. She's way beyond me. I mean, if it's hard enough to be able to talk about everything and answer all the comments that I have and talk to people and take pictures with them and all that kind of stuff in the parks, and I'm only at 10,000 subscribers, not even at 10,000 subscribers. She's at well over 200,000 subscribers. And not to mention, like, you have people from all over the world who would know her. And where I'm a little bit more localized, she's gonna have so many people who recognize her coming through the parks. There, I'm sure, has to be a certain amount of like rudeness and like, I'm sorry, I need to move through here. So as much as, I mean, you can call me a simp. I'm sure I am a simp, but that's my defense of Molly right there. Just from the same position that she's in, but as a much smaller creator than she is, that's my defense of what she is. I'm sure she has to just be like, I'm sorry, can't say hi, like we just got to move. We got to keep going. Let's see here. Cedar Point should let all the content creators on Top Thrill 2 first and take the fun pics, mount them in the Grand Pavilion, giving you guys recognition. Chuck, that's very nice of you. I don't think that Cedar Point will ever do that. They don't really like to use creators unless, like, I got invited to one creator event. Actually, I guess it was like 3, but within the same year. But unless you are pretty much only saying positive things about Cedar Point, I don't think they really love to use you. They want to hear that your opinion is almost always going to be very positive of them. And I've kind of just gotten to the point now where I'm like, I won't be invited to more things. That's okay, because I'll give a fair and balanced opinion no matter what the situation is. It's a place I absolutely love, but I also think they are not without critique. And I think that Cedar Point needs to hear that critique every once in a while. I know they're watching. So I'm very willing to give that kind of critique to them and say, hey, this kind of thing I don't think is worthwhile. I think it's a bad thing that you did this, that you took out one of my favorite family rides that is good for everyone and is inclusive of anyone, no matter who they are. And if they have any kind of disabilities or anything like that, no matter what the situation is of any person, you could ride like family rides, and those family rides should stay. So yeah, like, I'm more than willing to do that. And if they don't want to listen to that, they don't have to listen to it, of course. And I think the critique is a good thing for them to hear. So I know they hear it. That doesn't mean they're always going to listen or change anything according to it. And that's their prerogative. But also, if I take a little bit of like, well, we're not going to invite you to media events and things like that, then that's okay with me. I'm not going to be unwilling to be honest based off of that. So I want you guys, when you are watching, to always know that I'm giving you the most honest opinion that I can have of you, and that I'm not just like Cedar Point blind. Like, I don't look at them and go, oh, I don't like it that you did this. Like, I will say that if I hear it, but also say like, hey, this really was good, or I was wrong and I really enjoyed this better than I thought I did, or better than I thought I would. I hope with everything that's what I do. I hope that I look at it and I go, okay, you proved me wrong, Cedar Point. Good job. But sometimes that happens and sometimes it doesn't. So anyway, let's keep moving. I hated that on side like this, a lot of times I just can't see what's going on. When we first started going to Cedar Point, all we did was watch your videos, and now you forced us to do YouTube. I forced you to do YouTube? I did say multiple times. Drew kept telling me, like, hey, you should get this equipment. You should do this thing. When you're filming, you can do this. And he was talking about some of the things that he does, because Drew is a filmmaker. Like, so Drew of Droco is a filmmaker. So he kept giving me all these little tips and stuff. And as he was talking about things too, I was like, look, like you should really make your own channel. Like, why not? And for a little while last year, he was kind of almost to the point of like perfectionistic about it, like had to be perfect for him to even release anything. And finally this year, it seems like he's really like started just releasing stuff, and it doesn't always have to be perfect in every possible way. And I love that. I love being able to watch his stuff. So if you guys haven't, go check his stuff out. It's definitely worthwhile to go give them a shout out. Anyway, you gave us so much info. Thank you. I am hoping that I'm very informational. I'm not always going to be the perfect filmer, and God knows my audio is not always stellar. But you're going to definitely get information about Cedar Point, and that's why I hope that you return, so that you know each year and throughout the year what's happening. Mel, at Droco, we pretty much did the same thing. Well, between him and Jacob. So you guys watched Carpetbagger. Okay, cool. Hey, Daniel, what's up? Oh, you like the animation the best. Yeah, some of the old animation, it's actually funny. I hated Fantasia while I was doing the reviews. I hated the animation of Fantasia. I just didn't think it was great looking. And now I look back on it and I'm like, wow, it's beautiful animation. It's funny how your viewpoint even changes. But I kind of wanted to see when I when I watched every single video of every single Disney movie, I wanted to see what my thought would be. Like if I was actually around in 1930, whatever, 29 or whatever, when Snow White came out, and I watched that one first, what would my next thought be with the next movie? And obviously you can't really do that, but being able to isolate yourself a little bit, I thought that could be kind of a fun way to look at it. Can you give all your tips on Coaster Mania? I cannot, Triad. I have no tips on Coaster Mania at all, because I've never been there. So I don't even know what that's like. That actually might be what they're having at Indiana Beach, but I'm not sure. But I've never done any of those coaster events. I probably should. If it might be even fun to do like a booth at one of those events. But I've never done anything like that, so I don't really know what those events are like. So it would actually be something kind of fun to get into. I've just never done it so far, so it'd be fun to like actually try and go visit at some point here soon. But like I said, I just haven't done it in the past. Man, my head still hurts, guys. It's like I just took that medicine. I thought it would make it better by this point, but it's been like an hour now. Well, it's probably been a half hour now. Trevor, here's where all my least favorite things that you said are. Black Cauldron is the best Disney movie. Gurgi is the best side character ever created. I hate I hate that whole movie. The Black Cauldron is the worst Disney movie ever created. I stand by that. I hated it so much. I hated every second of it. It was Lord of the Rings without any kind of bite or without any kind of likable characters. The main character was the biggest, most annoying child I've ever seen, who has delusions of grandeur that he's some amazing knight. He never does literally anything. He doesn't help a single thing in the story. Everything that happens to him happens by happenstance. It's like, it's just so horrible. I hated every second of that experience. And Gurgi made me so mad. Well, Hatless Spider, you made me talk about it. So there. Man, I'm really stuffed up too. Wasn't Gemini? Oh, yeah. Yep. It was 45. Yep. Any plans for any other parks this year besides CP and KI? Yes, I would like to over spring break. I'm planning with Drew. I hope that's okay to say. To go to Carowinds and to hit up. It's not okay to say. Oh, okay. Okay, I'm leaving by myself to go on spring break to go to yeah, because Yoko will be there also for a couple of days, and we'll be hitting Carowinds, and then we'll also be hitting later on maybe a couple of other parks. We'll see what all we hit. I'm not totally sure what's going to happen. But yeah, that's going to be really fun. I think it'll be a really good way to do it and to get a little bit more content out there for you guys. That's newer content. At this point, I am really getting rid of all of my old clips or old videos from. Thank you, Jonah Lynn. Thanks for the anniversary shout out. I'm really getting rid of all of my old videos. I have so many videos already saved on the channel, but I'm trying not to get rid of them all at one time. So I'm getting rid of kind of like one per week, and then doing a couple of other fresher videos, and then I'll be getting rid of then I'll be releasing all my leftover clips from Universal Studios and from a whole bunch of different places like that. Beach Cliff. I think this might be good. Not much to say about Coaster Mania. It's no longer an enthusiast event, and the behind the scenes tours are pretty weak. If you have a pass, it's pretty cheap though, and the boat ride is nice. So this year also, I'd love to do some other longer trips too, of just kind of road trips. I would love to hit. I was just looking up today the possibility of going from Kings Island to Kentucky Kingdom to Holiday World, and then from Holiday World up to Indianapolis, where they have a little like day water park that is kind of more of a local place to go visit. And I'd love to go visit all of those and do just like a road trip tour where we talk about all of them in consecutive videos. So that's one possibility also. If you have other like possible like 4 or 5 day long trips that you think may work from Fort Wayne, Indiana, send them my direction. I'm really interested in some possibilities of places that I could go visit. I'd love to make it out to Branson this winter. I would love to go up to the Dells this next winter. So yeah, just any of those things. I'd like to do a longer trip and pick up a couple of different parks on different parts of the country. And that's part of like trying to diversify a little bit outside of Cedar Point itself. Partly because Cedar Point's a little bit frustrated me, a little bit. And partly also because it's just kind of time to take the channel in a bit more of a broader direction. There's only so big I can get with only Cedar Point content. And so we need to have a little bit of both. Now, Cedar Point content's not leaving at all. It's just there's more things that I can do than just Cedar Point, Kings Island. So if we can move to a couple different places, then I think that's definitely worthwhile. Last year, being able to go to Michigan Adventure was really a blast. Also getting out to, what was that place called? I went to another place in Pennsylvania last year. That was really fun also. Can't wait to see Carowinds content. Holiday World is really fun. The free drinks and sunscreen help. Yeah, I've heard about that. Sounds like a great trip. I'm going to do a Hershey, Dorney, and Nobles. Yes, I'd love to do Hershey, Dorney, and Knobles. I'd love to hit up also King's Dominion, too. That's another one I'd really love to do. And they're all fairly close by. The East Coast is just rife with a whole bunch of parks. Beechcliff, Great Adventure, Dorney, Hershey, Knobles, and Waldemere. Yes, I've heard a lot about Waldemere. I have a friend who really likes the idea of going to visit Waldemere, so that would be really fun. I just screenshotted that so that I can look those all up and see where they all are in relation to me and how far it would take me to go. So, do you guys have any more questions? I'm surprised I made it to the end of that one. Do we have any more questions or topics that we'd like to talk about? Kentucky Kingdom, King's Dominion. BGW, it's making sense, but I don't remember where it is or what park it is. Six Flags, Great America are all pretty close. Oh, by the way, I'd really love to go to Six Flags in Chicago. Big one for me. Kentucky Kingdom in Hurricane Bay, maybe. You need to ride King to Ka. Yeah, I'd like to do that, definitely. I'm sorry, guys. I pressed the power button on accident. Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. That's it. You guys want to see my dog? Hi, Bella. Hi, Bella. Hi, baby. How are you doing? She's looking for the cat. I guarantee it. She loves to chase after the cat. Will you leave that kitty alone? That cat hates her, too. Leave her alone. She doesn't want to be friends with you. Go away. Go away. Go downstairs. All right. I am just going to blow my nose real fast. I know this is gross. I'm sorry, guys. If I had someone to, like, take over for me, like Drew or Yoko or something, I would do that. But I don't have anyone to take over for me, and I keep going, like, in the middle of the live stream. So who else has more questions? We're going into the bathroom because this is my OnlyFans account now. No, not really. Beach Clip, you're hilarious. All right. That's more like it. Oh. Put in Bay this year? Yes, I'm going to Put in Bay. I will make it at some point. I guarantee that. I've gone with my brother a whole bunch of times. I think Drew and Yoko and I have already discussed the possibilities of getting out there. Also, Taylor Sloop is probably going to be going out there at some point to play. So I'll probably go watch him at some point whenever he's playing out there. I've even thought about going to visit for Bash at the Bay, which I think would be really fun. So yeah, I mean, it just kind of depends on what comes up and what I'm really bad at planning this year. I already have a little bit of a plan, but this is more of a plan than I've ever had before. And I feel like I'm betraying myself in planning. But yeah, I'll definitely be doing some fun stuff there. I think it's really fun just to be able to go visit that place. I think it's really fun. Have you ever tried to blow your nose and laugh at the same time? I probably did just a little bit just now. I'm sure that is the case. Oh, well, do we have more? Well, I don't know. Maybe Drew and Yoko have something they want to say about Puddin' Bay. Are you guys wanting to go to Puddin' Bay? And not just that, but do you want to go? Is there stuff you want to do? Have you ever been to Adventure Dome in Vegas? No. Always. No, I've never been to Vegas. That is actually a dream of mine. There's a lot of really fun stuff in Puddin' Bay that I'd really love to go see, especially as far as shows go. Um, so that's definitely something I'm looking forward to doing this year. Or this year, what? I think I'm mixing up Puddin' Bay and shows and Las Vegas and shows. Las Vegas has some shows I really want to see. But since you're not an enthusiast, what makes you decide on what parks you want to go? I just love any park. But like Holiday World, Dollywood is another one that I want to do. Um, those have so much more theming in them, and that's a big part of what I love. I love that at Cedar Point too. I love Frontier Town because it's themed. It's a nice theming area, and that's part of what I like about the shows also. But even just rides, when you have a ride that's been themed, like the boardwalk area, like that's a really fun place too to go visit. But yeah, Dollywood, I'll be like really into. But I love the rides also. I love all the coasters. I enjoy that a lot. It's just to me, it's one part of the experience. It's not the only part of the experience. So I'm huge on being able to go see the different shows. I love being able to watch any kind of comedy or people playing instruments, stuff like that. And yeah, anytime you have some sort of like Broadway-esque kind of a show, that's a huge thing for me too. But the rides are also a huge part of it, and there's not it's not something that I don't like. I love the rides. They're just not the only thing that I like to do. Beach Cliff Studios in here, boy. Holiday World's water park. Definitely do the water park. I would like to do that. If you go during the holidays, the theaters are lined with parked hover-rounds from the old people at the shows. The coasters are dead. Well, I should go when the old people are not there then, because I want to be the only young person at the show. Actually, that's not true. I like a packed show. I always think that's fun. Oh, whoa, we just went down to like 17 people and then went back up to 24. What's up, guys? If there's more people here, press that subscribe button if you haven't to come hang out with us here at Not Your Normal Guy. We are at 6 years. There's been so many milestones this year. I don't even remember which one it is. We got to 6 years. This is now our 6th year on YouTube. We've gotten to 7,000. We've gotten to 5,000. We're almost to 10,000, which is what I need your help for, is to get to 10,000 subscribers. We got to 1 million views this year. There's just tons of different milestones that we've hit all over the place. Holiday World has like 5 water coasters. Oh, really? I love water coasters. Can I film on the water park rides there? If you go during the holidays, the theater. Oh, yeah, you already said that. I'm late again. Shocker. What's up, Wildcat? Wildcat's Revenge. Yeah, Jonalyn, we'll also be doing some more advertising too at some point here. So whenever that happens, maybe at that point we'll reach over 10,000. I'm not sure if I'll have the same kind of results that I had the first time because that was pretty freaking insane. But we'll see what happens. And yeah, if we can get some more eyeballs on the channel, and if it changes things in a different way, maybe this time it would help with more with analytics than just with subscribers. But we'll see. I'm not sure what's going to happen, but it's kind of a fun experiment one way or another. I love Cheetah's Chase. Is that what it's called though? Cheetah Hunt. Oh, Cheetah's Chase. That's the. I thought you were talking about Cheetah Hunt. One of my favorite rides is Cheetah Hunt. Gotta be honest. Melissa, I still haven't been to the water park, but we got ERT for Hollywood Nights, so I might get it this time finally. You got any new merch planned? I do have new merch planned. There's a whole bunch of new merch planned for this year. So we'll be getting some stuff out there. Some more like I'll give one quick little not disclaimer, but spoiler, I guess. We'll be doing some Let's Go merch. So that's one that I've had a lot of people ask me for. So we'll be doing that. There's a whole bunch of new possibilities. Some Oh My Word shirts. I've heard that a lot too. Yeah, we have our little sayings around here, don't we? I'm riding Cheetah Hunt this year, and it looks interesting. It's so much fun. It's truly the epitome of fun for me. So if we're talking about theming, like this is where my love of theming and my love of coasters collides, because I love Cheetah Hunt so much because it feels like a cheetah hunt. Like it feels like you're actually a cheetah on a hunt. And I know that sounds just stupid to say, like, right? That's what it's supposed to be. But to me, when I ride Velocicoaster, I don't feel like I'm being chased by velociraptors. I feel like I'm on a ride that's supposed to feel like I'm being chased by Velocicoaster or by Velocicoasters or velociraptors. But when I'm on Cheetah Hunt, it would be so much fun just to do. I feel like I'm down on the ground. First, you start up high, and it's almost like while you're up high, you're making this circle around, like looking for what your prey is gonna be, and then you go down. And as you go down, it's like, this is the hunt. I'm now hunting on something. And then I go like I'm actually running. Like, to me, I just loved it. There was a point then when you go around kind of almost upside down. Well, and at one point you actually circle upside down. But at that point you feel like you're in the hunt and you're kind of like going up on the side of a tree maybe to get around on the other side. I don't know. Just to me, it felt like a cheetah hunt. Where again, Velocicoaster, it just feels like I'm on some sort of a mimic. Like if I'm running from velociraptors, then why did I get shot all the way up in the air and then back down to then go? Like, because to me, I'm like, well, if I'm doing that, they've caught up to me. During that time, I went up in the air, I went back down, and then they caught up to me. Now, that being said, I rode it in the front seat, and it was amazing. I love the ride, but the ride doesn't match up to the theme that I want, that I want it to do for me. And so that's where I'm weird as far as thuzies go, because I'm really not a thuzy, but I'll, like I kind of still fit that bill to some degree, but not quite. So I'm weird. It's fine. All right. Trent, you just need a Trent saying shirt with all of them on it. Play content. Hey, play content. What's up, Connor? It's good to talk to you again. Will you be distributing cheese popcorn appreciation shirts? I don't like the idea of that food, but I admire that you do enough to put personal preference aside. I love that. I doubt it. Maybe. Well, I guess hey, I mean, if someone's even slightly swayed by my weird opinions, then awesome. Thanks, Wildcats Revenge. Have you been to Six Flags Great America in Gurnee, Illinois? No, but yes, I have. I was there in college, I believe. Yeah, it would have been college. And it was fun. I don't remember much about it. It's been way too long since. And I only went that one time, but I had a friend who worked there and showed us all around and kind of told us when certain things would have bigger lines or smaller lines, things like that. I remember enjoying it, but I didn't have, obviously I didn't have the channel and I didn't do like theme parks. I wasn't trying to ride everything that day. So I don't even know if we hit every ride or not. We probably didn't because I was kind of averse to coasters that went upside down. Even at that point, even though I'd ride them, I just was a little bit nervous about them. So yeah, but it was definitely fun to go visit. And this year I'm planning on going to visit. I'm not even counting that as a road trip. That will be a day trip this year. I'd really like to make it up to there, especially since Cedar Fair is looking like it might be being acquired by / acquiring Six Flags. I just kind of want to see what that park is also like and see if there's stuff that I like inside it and what the experience of a Six Flags park is actually like. So this year the plan is to get up there quite a bit more often. I also have family in Elkhart Goshen area, so if I'm going up there, there's a good chance I may be able to stay with one of them overnight, kind of on my way back over the weekend. So that may be a good option for me. I'll try and ride Cheetah Hunt in the front row then. I think Cheetah Hunt's a great ride. Riding it in the front row is definitely fun. I actually got a great POV of it, or at least I would have. It was on my chest at the time on a GoPro, and somehow I never pressed record. It's the saddest thing to me. Because I wrote it again in the night and I wrote it further back and it wasn't a good recording at that point either. But yeah, front row was really, really fun. Hi everyone, I saw the live feed pop up. What's up, Jason? How are you doing? Play content. I mean, I doubt it was a fairly predictable / fair answer to the cheese popcorn query, but I wouldn't forgive myself if I didn't at least check. You should go to Kentucky Kingdom. Wildcats Revenge, go to Kentucky Kingdom too. That is the plan. Do Kings Island, go down to Kentucky Kingdom, go to Holiday World, and then from there, / somewhere in there, maybe hit Dollywood, maybe, and then go up to Indiana or Indianapolis. Yeah, there's a water park there. If I can get that done, that would probably be something I would do during a week when my ex-wife has my daughter for that full 2 weeks, so that I could then make sure that I get a large loop in, because I don't like to miss time with my daughter. Cheetah Hunt is great at night, especially if the water in the river is running. Yes, I agree with that. I think my water was not there. because I was more in early spring when I was there. So I think when the water's running, I would agree with that. I think it would be so much more fun. But either way, it was still a blast. Oh, I'm going to Dollywood this year too. Yeah, I'd really like to go to Dollywood if it's at all possible. Universal for me next week. I loved Universal. This year I got to go to Universal and it is so much fun. I have several videos on the channel for Universal if you want to go check those out, where I did like ride challenges. That was a blast. It was so much fun, and I'm surprised because, like I said at the beginning of the stream, I was a Disney like pure Disney person. Like, so actually my parents kind of forced us to go to Disney because my mom had breast cancer, and dad, I think, just was like, well, let's go on some spring break trips. We don't know what mom's gonna be having and how long she's gonna be alive, and she's still alive. She's doing great now. But at the time, things seemed a bit more up in the air, so we stopped. We'd never gone any place for Universal or for spring break, and they were like, mom and dad both were like, well, where would you guys like to go? Would you like to go to Disney or do you want to go to Universal? And we were like, Universal, Disney's for babies. So we went to Universal instead that year. The next year, they were like, guys, we don't care what you think. You're going to Disney this year. I was like in 8th grade, and I was like, this is the dumbest thing. I can't believe we're going to Disney. This is so stupid. And I mean, I don't know why. I'd always loved Disney movies. I just was like too cool for school. Like, you know, you're in junior high. Everything's not cool. So I was like, this is a baby place. I'm going to hate every second of it. And I remember walking in, and I mean, everything we've said. I'm such a Broadway guy. I'm such a shows guy. I love a good experience. I love good music. And I walked in, and there was just immediately this Rodgers and Hammerstein score playing over what we were doing. I walked into the main area, and first of all, you just see all the buildings all around you. And I was like, this is really pretty, and the music's really great. And I turned the corner and the castle spread out in front of me, and I was just like, oh my word, I love this place. And I had this like I love Disney. So I fell in love from there. But so the fact that this last year I went to Disney, like I went to Universal. I've craved Disney every year all of my life. Like always wanting to go to Disney. While I was married, it was just like I wanted to go to Disney every year. If I could, I wanted to so bad. And we didn't get to. We only went like once or twice. Well, no, we only went one time married. Um and I just thought that it was a place I always needed to go. Well, I just was there and I didn't need to at all. I went to Universal. We did go on like a little loop around the monorail, that's all. But I didn't need to go to Disney at all. I enjoyed Universal so much, and that feels like a massive indictment to me to Disney, because if anybody was going to always love Disney, it was me. And the fact that I could go to Disney and be like, and the fact that I could go to Universal and be just miles away from Disney and be like, yeah, I really don't need to enter any of the parks. I feel happy with where I am. That's kind of a crazy thing that I even possibly felt that way. So yeah, that's not that I feel like that's a bad thing to Disney. But yeah. Epcot pre CR? What, I'm not sure what CR is. Was kind of bad, not gonna lie. What do you mean by CR? Universal pass holder for life. Yeah, I like Universal. LOL, Disney's great, but Islands of Adventure is just incredible. Yeah. Awesome thrill rides with theming that rivals Disney, if not better in some parts. And that's what it was for me. It's Harry Potter. It's riding the train back and forth. It's being able to ride everything and have beautiful, immersive places to exist in. It's having IP that's incredible and beyond what any other thing has. I mean, when you're at Disney, you don't have those. Even like Cosmic Rewind. Cosmic Rewind is fun. It was a fun thing for me to do. I enjoyed it a lot. But Cosmic Rewind is not nearly as exciting and immersive. Like when you walk outside of Cosmic Rewind, you're just in Epcot. And I know that's even part of the theming. Like it's not a bad theme. I like the theming because really you're in like an Epcot world showcase kind of a place that would like showcase a certain country. But instead of it showcasing a certain country, you're really in like an alien or you're really in an Earth version of an alien Epcot pavilion. So it's like you're walking into like find out about this other planet in the galaxy, and they've put this on for you. So all us Terrans, as we're called in it, get to see what this other world is like, and that's fun. I mean, I think it's fun to see that take on it, but it's not reality, and it's also just the theming. Like you don't have this immersive theming. Now Pandora, the world of Avatar, is the best thing that Disney has, but even Star Wars land is not that great, to be honest. Like there's no place to linger, there's no place to sit, you can't just look at everything. Pandora has such beautiful theming and those floating mountains. I know they're not really floating mountains, but they look like floating mountains, are just ginormous and fantastic, and they use forced perspective so well, and it's incredible. You walk in and you're like, wow, that's crazy. But it's also in an IP that, even though it's everybody has seen Avatar, and even the second Avatar was such a big one, nobody really seems to actively care about Avatar. I don't know. It's a weird franchise for it to be all about. But kind of the same thing with oh my word, with Star Wars Land too. It's the same kind of concept. Like the fact that it's not the classic Star Wars universe, and instead they had to create this new one that people aren't as invested in or excited about, is just disappointing and kind of a letdown. Like if you have to say who you really love, do you really love or love to hate? Do you really love to hate Kylo Ren, or do you really love to hate Darth Vader? Which one is really your guy that you hate the most? Or if you have to love someone, do you really love Rey, or do you really love Luke Skywalker? Like the answer is pretty clear on both counts. Like Luke Skywalker is obviously the most classic one. I went to Galaxy's Edge on opening day somehow, and it wasn't busy, but it looked very cool. Well, they were like not selling enough tickets for people. Like they weren't letting people into the park. So that's part of the reason why. Will you try and stay in the cabins at Lighthouse Point at Cedar Point this year? I would like to stay in the cabins at Lighthouse Point this year. I'm not sure that it's a priority for me, but I'd like to see it. I'm with you on Pandora. Flight of Passage still gives me the good feels every time I ride. The film combined with the music and sense of flight, I get happy just thinking about it. Yeah, I mean it's pretty incredible. That ride is pretty great. The only ride I don't love as much is the indoor boat ride. I forget what that one's called. Obviously not Flight of Passage, but I forget. But that one is much less fun. It is one that I'm a little bit. It's just so slow, which is okay. But if it's going to be slow, then give me some great animatronics. And they do have one beautiful animatronics. The it's Shaman of Songs, I think is what they call it. But anyway, it's just like Awa, Navi River Journey. Yeah, like she moves her arms all around. She looks so real. She's beautiful in every way. They have some fun effects in there too. But those fun effects should really be the like crazy, incredible thing about it. And I don't know, there could be so much more. Like, there should be several Na'vi all around, moving all around, and yeah, like, that would be so much more fun. Okay, I saw Droko said something. Would you want to go boating with us this summer at Cedar Point? Sure. I'd be down to go boating at some point. Especially, it'd be really fun if we could go and park at Cedar Point, or even like just do the beach there, like anchor on or near a sandbar, something like that, and then hang out in the sandbar. That'd be really fun. Maybe even go and ride some rides, just do something kind of fun in that way, something different, like see the park from a whole different perspective. I'd be really into that. But yeah, I'd definitely be down for that. This year also, I'd really like to see the park from the perspective of riding the boat over. I want to take the Jet Express to Cedar Point, because that would be really fun. And it's also classic. That's where you used to enter from. That was the way that you got to Cedar Point before there was a road, which I think changed in the 50s or 60s, something like that. And they reoriented everything. Like, you had the attraction circle before that. The attraction circle doesn't exist anymore at all because they just wiped out all those buildings and completely redid a full like boardwalk area for you to walk into. But before that, they didn't have that. So, wow, 27 people again, huh? Guys, if you have not pressed that subscribe button, press that subscribe button for the 27 of you who are now back on. It went down to 19 again and then back up. I'm going to try staying at Breakers and taking the Jet Express from CP to Kelly's Island sometime this year. I've done that. If you want to see tips on that, go check out my video on island hopping. I did one with that, so you can see kind of what the tickets cost and where we had to go and how long I had between each boat ride, stuff like that. If you go to Coaster Mania, you get a boat ride around the park. That would be really fun. I would love that. I was going to rent a pontoon boat when I'm at CP in May. Doesn't seem like they do that, though, so count me in as a stowaway, Droko. Did you do it directly from CP or from Sandusky? I did it. Oh, you're talking about that. I did it from... not from Sandusky. I went from Port Clinton, and then went from Port Clinton to, so there's a hotel at Port Clinton that I absolutely love. And then you're just a hop and skip and a jump away from Put-in Bay from that hotel. So I stayed at that hotel, went to Port Clinton, or I stayed at that hotel in Port Clinton, went to Put-in Bay, went from Put-in Bay to Kelly's Island, went from Kelly's Island to Cedar Point, and then came back. I had to ride like one ride, get one drink, something like that at each place, and then came back. So it was a really fun thing to do. I enjoyed that a lot. Uh-oh. I forgot I unplugged my phone. My phone is about to die. What's your favorite off-site CP hotel? Off-site. Well, if you want to know the one I was just talking about, because I just said that, it's the Island House in Port Clinton. But if you're talking more of a hotel that's actually in Sandusky, I think it might have to be... It's going to sound weird, but maybe the Quality Lodge. I really liked the Quality Lodge. I'm going to be honest, it had a bit of a smell. It had a bit of a smell that gave you kind of a musty vibe, I guess. To me, I like to say it smelled like grandma's house, but grandma's house was clean. Like grandma's house is very clean, but it also kind of smells like mothballs no matter what. That's what it smelled like. My grandma's house doesn't smell that way at all. But like I'm talking like if your grandma like smoked for a long time, but she still cleaned the house really, really nicely, but there's still smoke in the walls. That's what it smelled like. Um, it wasn't like the worst smell in the world, and it wasn't like totally off-putting. It didn't make me feel sick or anything, but yeah. But the people there running it were the nicest people. The place was clean. It was very cheap, and it's right down the street from Cedar Point. And those are all things that I really value in a place to stay. Um, I I'm trying to think if there's something that would be probably the Best Western I really liked, but it's a lot further away. It's like 20 minutes away. That one was less great, but also relatively cheap, but not cheap, cheap, like $180 a night. Like if you're looking for anything like 120, you have to have something cheaper for it. So Trent and Drew will be riding Slingshot together this year. Not a chance. You have no shot whatsoever. Wolfen is your favorite one, right? Wolfen is my least favorite one ever. Yes. Good old people smell. Yeah, that's right. That's basically what it is. It's good old people smell. LOL, never a good sign when the best thing you can say about a hotel is it smelled like your smoky grandma. Well, that is what I said, but I would still go back. Like anytime. True when it's not expensive. See, to my understanding and what I've always seen, True has always been expensive. It was like $350, and that's not worth it. Next time, if there is a possibility of me staying at True, I will instead go to Hotel Breakers because that's way more worthwhile and way better for views. Also, Jason Wolfin. What was that? Where the shower handle broke off in your hand? Yes, Jason, that's it. Where it broke off in my hand. Also, I got the key to the wrong room. Wolfen was an awful experience altogether, but so good for ratings. Favorite ride at Cedar Point. Um, favorite ride at Cedar Point. It depends on if I'm going objectively or more subjectively for me. Objectively, like on paper, it's gotta be Maverick. Every single time I do anything, Maverick wins. Um, Objectively, I think, or subjectively, just for me, the thing that I like the most in my own head is just Millennium Force. I just always loved Millennium Force, and a lot of that even comes down to nostalgia. Like it's not really like I like this one better for all these reasons. It's just nostalgic. I like it because it came out when I was in junior high, and I've ridden it ever since I liked coasters at all. And I didn't like coasters that went upside down, but I would ride Millennium. So that was really fun. Do you think that Top Thrill 2 will have a lot of downtime? Hopefully not. I'll tell you only what I heard Tony say, which I think is maybe worthwhile, but he said that it's supposed to not have downtime. Like it'll have like 2 minutes of downtime. Um, so at least that's what they said at this point. So I'm not sure if I believe that. I think he would stand behind the business and the group that they chose, no matter what, to the death, as he should as a PR person. I'm not sure if I believe him. And I guess the proof will be in the pudding, right? So we'll see what it is. I feel like because they had so many problems with Wild Mouse that they're still going to have just as many problems with this ride also. Because when you take a ride manufacturer that's really literally for kids, that's done all kids ride stuff, and then all of a sudden you throw them into this manufacturing of the biggest coaster in the US apart from one, it's just, I'm afraid it's not going to pan out very well. But so let's just say I definitely have my skepticisms, but at this point I'm just going to buy what Tony says and say, sure, yep, it's not going to have any downtime or barely any downtime. We'll see if that's actually the case when May gets around to here. How about the scariest ride at CP? For me, Skyhawk. Love it, but it terrifies me. Only ride that makes me close my eyes. But see, I don't even want to close my eyes on Skyhawk. I want to rip my skin off on Skyhawk. It's the worst thing I've ever done with my existence. I hate that ride. It makes me want to shout blasphemies. I, I hate it. I hate every second of it. It's the worst thing to exist. But it was a little bit better than I was thinking it was the last time I rode it. Even when you do stop up in the air, there's never, I think, a full amount of time where you could actually fall. The G forces are always pushing on you just enough to keep you in it, no matter what. But it's still my favorite, or it's still my least favorite one. You know what, Droco? You ride it for me because you have bad taste. I hate that ride. Steel Vengeance is easily the best ride in the U.S. I think a lot of people love Steel Vengeance a lot. I'm not sure if I would say it's the best ride in the U.S. Actually, I know I wouldn't. For me, I really love Fury 325. So if I mean it's fine if you don't. That's absolutely fine. But I love that ride. I can't give it to Steel Vengeance when Fury is so good. Zamperla is literally in charge of the trains and the spike. The LSMs are a third party. So yeah, we'll see. I do like it that I've heard that from more than just you. And I do think maybe that'll help things quite a bit. It still concerns me, but I've also heard that there's been some movement of people from Intamin to Zamperla too, so that may have had more to do with it. Also, there may be lots of reasons. I'm not gonna like hate it, but I'm not gonna hate on it yet. Let's just say that. Okay, no problem, Mello. And I guess Zamperla did the switch track, which could have issues. We'll just see. We'll see what happens, right? Like honestly, any ride is going to come with it a certain amount of risk, no matter what, because you get into that live situation and things happen that you don't expect to happen. So we'll see what happens. I do think that's where Kings Island does so much better. It excels above Cedar Point because Kings Island has chosen really, really established creators like B&M to do just a ton of their rides. They find someone they're really happy with and they do it. So they're like, hey, B&M, you're awesome. We know that you could do this really well. Will you make these 4 rides for us? And then they make those 4 rides for them. Or they go, hey, GCI, you're established. You've done some really great stuff. Let's get you in here to take care of us and make something awesome for us. So I think all those things are really good parts about Kings Island, and I think the reason why Kings Island has such a strong lineup of rides that don't have a ton of downtime. They don't take a ton of risks. Cedar Point takes tons of risks and tries to always push the ante no matter what they're doing, whether it's taking a ride manufacturer that does smaller stuff and do something big, which is also what they did with Intamin, or it's because they take an established manufacturer and then they're like, but don't just build us a ride, but build us the biggest one you've ever made. So that's what Cedar Point excels at. That's part of why they've gotten to be such a great place. But it's also part of why sometimes they have some not so great parts about their operations. You guys are saying some horrible things. What's the longest line you've ever waited in? Well, we talked about this a little bit. Just the other day, we had a live stream about this. Longest line I've ever waited in was probably, it was either 3 or 4 hours for Top Thrill Dragster years ago. And I kept taking naps in between because I'd had some lemonade and my stomach hurt so bad. But I was in high school at this point. So the ride was like really stop and go. Like you'd go for a little bit and then you'd stop and you'd wait for a long time. So I'd just lay down and I'd just sleep for a long time. And then my friends would all wake me up and then I'd move over. Love Skyhawk and Power Tower. Jeremy, Trent, you should ride the Ripcord ride at Cedar Point. I refuse. There's nothing you can make me do. I do not care about how much money you give me on Patreon. I don't care anything. I will not ride that ride. That is one place I refuse to do. Unpopular opinion. The Super Himalaya is the best flat. I like that one a lot. I don't know if I'd say it's the best flat, but I certainly don't mind it at all. I think it's a very good flat as far as all of them go. Love that Himalaya got some love. Haven't been on that one, on one of those in 20 years probably. Hope to ride the one at CP in May for old time's sake. What are your top 5 rides at Cedar Point and top 5 rides at Kings Island? Okay. Cedar Point. Drop yours down in the comments too. What are your top 5 at both Cedar Point and Kings Island? So Cedar Point for me, it would help if I could type this out. But it would be definitely Steel Vengeance, Maverick, Millennium. Not sure about Top Thrill Dragster, so I'm not going to include that. Gatekeeper and Valraven. I think it'd have to be that. Those are my 5 at Cedar Point. For Kings Island, it would definitely be Orion. I think Orion is incredible. Like next to Fury 325. Yes, I am going to Cedar Point for the eclipse. Yeah, I'll be there for total eclipse of the point. So Kings Island, it would be Orion, Mystic Timbers, Diamondback, Stunt Coaster, and Racer. No, Beast. It'd have to be Beast. Sorry. It would have to be Beast. I really do love Racer a lot, but I don't think it can make my top 5. Let's see what you guys are saying. Of course, once I'm there, I see the coasters and I feel like Yogi Bear seeing a picnic basket. Yeah, that's always hard to do that. That is one thing that's nice when I'm close enough that I can be there often and do things as much as I can. Is sometimes I can really focus on one thing. So like do all the flat rides like I did last year, or ride every coaster in one day. Those kinds of things I think are really fun to do because they let me really focus in on one thing. Go see all the shows in one day. Go get a whole bunch of food. There's just options like that I can do that not everyone can, because they're coming one time and trying to get everything done that they want to get done in maybe 2 or 3 days at most. Is that the yellow streak going down your back that prevents you from getting on Ripcord? Absolutely it is. Do you think I have pride where I would say, like, oh my word, that makes me mad? Is that a challenge? Hold my beer. I'm going to go do that. No, I'm not. I don't care. You can challenge me all you want. You can call me a yellow belly all you want, and I will just show it to you. I'm not offended by that. One, Beast, Diamondback, Orion, Mystic Timbers, Flight of Fear. Shuggy Toe. Hey, Shuggy Toe too. I haven't said hi to you yet. What's up? Gemini, Magnum, Steel, Vengeance, Raptor, Maverick, and Blue Streak. Blue Streak makes your top 5? Wow, that's a good one. Steel Vengeance, Maverick, Gatekeeper, Millennium Force, and Valraven from Coaster Cat. Griffin says Steel Vengeance, Maverick, Millennium Force, Valraven, and Gatekeeper. Hey, isn't that what I said? Yeah, I said Valraven, Gatekeeper too. Coaster Cat for Kings Island, Orion, Mystic Timbers, Diamondback, The Bat, Night Rides are awesome. Oh yeah, that'd be a fun one, yeah. Banshee. Oh, Banshee. Ooh, Banshee might beat out the Beast, to be honest, for me. I just wasn't thinking about it. Mel, Cedar Point, Maverick, Gatekeeper, Valraven, Iron Dragon, Back Row, Gemini. To be fair, I haven't been on Millennium Force or Steel Vengeance yet. And Kings Island, Mystic Timbers, Beast, Backlot Tour, The Bat, Front Row, and Flight of Fear. I've seen that yellow belly. Yes, you have. Steel Vengeance, Maverick, Millennium Force, Blue Streak, Raptor, and Valraven. I love the oldies, Jason. Yeah. Griffin Hartel, Orion, Diamondback, Mystic Timbers, Banshee, and the Beast. And Daniel, Millennium Force, Gatekeeper, Steel Vengeance, Magnum, and The Train. The Train came out of nowhere. I was not expecting that at all. Oh, all right. Well, guys, it has been an hour and 22 minutes of streaming that I've done so far. And I think I'm going to call it there. I think that was a nice place to end. Thank you guys so much for hanging out today. And I think this was really fun. I had a lot of fun time with you guys here. No, I just got here. Okay, fine. I'll stay on for another 5 minutes with you, Calicapepe. Hey, so Calicapepe, although I called him Calapepe in one of my videos, but he is one of the performers at Kings Island. So go. I don't even know how they can give you some love, but they should definitely. Okay, I won't leave yet. I won't leave quite yet. We'll leave soon. But yeah, actually, when I do leave, though, because I'll be leaving pretty soon, go check out Jericho Adventures for their live, because they'll be starting. If you guys haven't gotten enough coasters and all that kind of stuff, go check it out. Funny timing. Just got here, too. Been sleeping. Yeah, we'll stay on for another, like, couple minutes. You know, why not? Does anybody else have another thing that they'd like to talk about, or another question of who knows what? Ask me anything. AMA. Why did I just open that? I don't know why I just opened that. Trent, the people here don't care about shows. I know. That's a problem. We do want shows. I don't know why people here don't care about shows. They should care about shows. We love shows, Calicapepe. What's your favorite ride, Calicapepe? I want to hear from you. So I know you've been around Cedar Point for a long time. Mad they got rid of Come See About Me. I'm not mad they got rid of Come See About Me. I'm glad they did it for 2 years ago. For 2 years. I think it's an awesome show. I think it did great things. But then I'm glad that they're changing it and moved it to something else. It could be a CP, or you could even do Kings Island too, because I know you're really familiar with Kings Island. All right, there's more here. I love the shows. Yes, I think the new show that they have planned is going to be really good. I love the idea of like a 90s throwback. And I've been hearing a lot of like them doing NSYNC and Backstreet Boys in some of their like street shows that they've done. So if they're already doing some of those, I could see that this could be really, really fun. A great show that they have. So I think that's definitely worthwhile. And I'm excited to see it. Anytime, if I could write a show for Cedar Point, actually, I'm going to be talking about that in my Blue Sky videos pretty soon. I have a couple of show ideas that are just itching in my brain, so I just want to get them out and be like, Cedar Point, if you want them, use them. This is my free idea for you. One idea in particular that's like a Halloween show, and I want them to use some of the songs from Mean Girls in it. And there's actually a song from Mean Girls that works really well, but make it a murder mystery. Have it be like the sexy thing from Mean Girls, where the girls are wearing like the cat ears, but then have the guys shirtless with like superhero logos on their chests, and then just get people splattered with blood, or even do that cool effect that they did a couple years ago where someone's dead and they have the paint on them, but you can't see it until it's a black light, and then change something and have them be a zombie at that point, but make it a murder mystery for Halloween weekends. I think it could be so much fun, kind of like the high school horror house that they had a couple years ago, but instead of it being a high school horror house, now it's a high school show that they're doing, where they do like some different fun songs, maybe some 90s songs, and I think it could be so much fun. Anyway, sorry, total tangent there, guys. Only show I care about is Midnight Syndicate. I loved Midnight Syndicate this last year. I think that's kind of a hot take, but I loved it. It was so much fun with that incredible talent of people who were like knife wielders and different aerial acts, and it was incredible. I loved it. Best local bar I need to try at Cedar Point. That's not an IPA. So you're not looking for an IPA. You're looking for local beer. Oh, I don't know if they really have a lot of local beers. Most of the beers that they have are all just regular stuff. Anyway, Calicapepe, it's all like canned stuff, like Leinenkugels and stuff like that. Like there's not a lot of options that are like local. Um, Calicapepe SCP Magnum used to be. You used to love Mantis. I can't believe you loved Mantis. How long do you think the average line for Top Thrill 2 will be? I think it's going to be like 4 hours, maybe 3 hours. I think it's going to be a lot. I'm going to be honest. Shows are really good. I just wish we kind of had older stuff like Luminosity on stage and the Bone Crew and stuff like that. I wonder if I remember the Bone Crew. Is that where they had like dueling bands? I think I remember that, if that's the same one that I'm thinking of. Tiffany. Hey, Tiffany. K.I., Diamondback, Mystic, Beast, Banshee, and Orion. Cedar Point, Millie, Raptor, Magnum, and Gatekeeper, and Maverick. What's the craziest thing you have seen on the way to a park? I'm not sure. I got a ticket a couple times. Can't really think of anything too crazy that I saw on the way to a park. On the way to a ride, one time I saw something that was crazy. Um, it was kind of a fun day anyway that I was doing, but I was trying to see every show, and especially shows that I'd never seen before. And they had a trivia show where I'd gone by it a couple different times, but it was always like kids answering the trivia, and it was just kind of boring, honestly. Like, usually it wasn't very fun to watch. And I went by, and there was this group of like college guys that were all answering the questions, and they were just like hyping each other up, just like so excited, like, yeah, 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 come on. They were answering them back and forth, and then and the more they answered, the more excited they got. And I got most of it on film. I'd gone to get food anyway, so I went in, got some food, and then came back out and kept filming them because I kind of just thought, well, it's going to be a little bit boring anyway. They're just answering questions, and then they kept getting more and more and more excited, just razzing each other up constantly, and it got more and bigger and bigger. And as one of them was about to win, then they they were like really close between both of them, and one of the guys was like, finally he got it right, and just like exploded and took his shirt off, ripped it off, threw it on the ground, and ran around and like gave everyone hugs. It was the funniest thing I'd ever seen. That one was interesting. And it made that video more fun because it wasn't just a kid, just like half-heartedly not really knowing what the answers were and trying to answer them right. Instead, these guys were just really invested and very entertaining, so it was fun. All right, next one. Kala Kapepe. La like lap. Call la capepe. Capipi. Sorry. Cola cap cola capipi. Okay. But it's made up. Do what you want. Cola capipi. Okay. As long as you think the average ride. Okay, yeah. We already did that. 5 for each. I really miss the stunt show. I do too. Are you talking about the biking show? My daughter and I loved the biking show. It was really, really fun. That one was one that I think was definitely worthwhile to go see. But I think the same people are now down at Kings Island, the same people who did that biking show. And they're the ones that do all the flips and stuff at Kings Island. It's really fun. I do not believe that Lusty Lils is coming back to Cedar Point this summer, unfortunately. I'd love to see it. I don't think that's their plan for this year. I didn't see it on the list anyway. If I would have, I would have been crazy excited. Oh, just watch the Mean Girls musical movie. I did too. I loved it. I've seen a lot of people really hate it. I didn't hate it. It's definitely different than the original, but that's okay. It should be different. It shouldn't be totally the same, and it has a bit of a different takeaway, but that's okay. Jeremiah, Trent, did you ever get to ride the Wicked Twister at CP before it was? Oh, a ton of times, yes. And the last season, I also was there on the day that it was done, and I went outside and filmed the very last ride of Wicked Twister. So you can see that on the channel from several years ago if you want to go check it out. So just probably search Not Your Normal Guy Wicked Twister, and it would probably come up. Man, there's 26 people back on again. We almost ended the. I think they should move the stage back to the beach area where the old water shows were. Um, I think there's no way they would do that. I think the other side, where the old dorms used to be, that's a much better possibility of where a like stage could be right over there, so that you can turn the stage around and get the stage off of the walkway. And then at that point, you'd have more space freed up for people to watch, including on the walkway. But I need you to do a showcase for your Halloween show. Hey, Calicapipi, if you can tell me how to do that, I absolutely would, because I'll be doing a video where I include it, and I'm gonna like go into detail about what songs and all that kind of stuff on it. But if there is a way for me to actually like influence what shows get done either at Kings Island or at Cedar Point, I would 100% be into that. I would do that in a heartbeat if I could be like, hey, look, guys, take it, take my idea. I want you to have it. Like, absolutely. They could have it for free. That's fine with me. Although, if they want to put me on payroll for them, I would not be against that either. Um, I just can't get to the point, though, where I'm not allowed to have my opinions. That's the thing. If they're ever like you have to be willing to not give yourself or not say the opinions that you have, then I'd be like, I'm sorry. You can take my ideas, that's fine, but I still get to have my opinions. Yeah, and it was a stunt show during Halloween's where they wore skeleton costumes. I think I do remember that. That's been a long time though. Drive to Silver Dollar City. You'll see Uranus. What? Oh, what? Beast, Mystic, Bat, Backlot, Adventure Express. What's up, FYE Coasters? Man, everybody just keeps on joining. What's up, guys? How you doing? I saw you at CP Chill Out. You were in my group. What? So you probably, I was probably in a group right as we left, huh? Oh no. FYE Coasters, I don't know what your face looks like very well, so that's the problem. I need to see your face. Stunt show with Wicked Twister periodically shooting up in the background. Amazing visuals. Hey, that would be fun. Yeah, that'd be really fun. I would love that. I agree about Mean Girls. Yeah. Nice stuff, FYE Coasters. Hey, Calico PP. Hey, FYE. Hey, Joko Adventures. Roses are red, violets are blue. If you think TT2 Ops will be bad, remember, Soul Spin exists too. I hate Soul Spin. Oh, my word. I'm sure I can't hate anything more than I hate Soul Spin. So I think Top Thrill 2 will be way better than that. I was in line for Wicked Twister and they shut down before I could get my last ride in. No way! I didn't think that was a possibility for that year. Man, tons of people know me or just saying hi. No, I'm pretty sure we all know who you are, FYE Coasters. We like your videos. Did you get Prestige Pass this year? I did get Prestige Pass this year. My daughter did not, but I did. I like to go and take naps in the pavilion and stuff like that. Oh, I meant for our entertainment. You perform the show as a showcase. I like it. Let's do that. I'll do that. I'll do a one-man show. Some of my fellow performers couldn't even get their show ideas taken in by managers. And that's before corporate started being more involved in shows. Good luck to even my boss. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of what I figured. But still, I'll give it for free on the internets. And then they can take it or leave it. That's fine. All of it. Like, nobody needs to take anything I put out here. But I know they're watching, so they can take or leave what they can, what they want to. Soul Spin is okay, not worth a ride if the queue is long. I know, it's ridiculous. I waited like 45 minutes for not that long of a line. Actually, it may have been longer than that. No problem, FYE Coasters. I was reminiscing about how Wicked Twister was a backdrop for the CP stunt show. Yeah, it really was a cool place. And especially if you sat on the right side of, like, if you were over to the left, then you could see more stuff in that pavilion. You're almost free. Getting caught up on the chats. Yeah, I'm done with the chats, guys. I'm gonna get off here. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. It was so much fun to talk with you guys. And this time I'm really getting off. So you guys have a great day. Thanks for hanging out and thanks for 6 great years. It's really, really fun to see you guys. And you guys have a great day. And I guess we'll see you guys in the parks at some point. Come. Well, actually, we'll be doing some other stuff. Also, yes, go see Droco right now. Go check them out because they are pressing live at this very moment. So you guys can move straight from this one to their live stream. I'll be over there in the chat in just a little bit. Thank you guys so much for hanging out, and let's go.